I wanted a better relationship with my daughters, and I asked for it every day. And by me asking, it put me in a position where I started doing. I wanted a bigger business, a more profitable business. I wanted more money. And because I desired those things, it put me in a position where I need to develop the skill sets to create those things. Welcome to another episode of Mindset Mastery. I'm your host, Araujo. Go ahead and check in and welcome. Happy Thanksgiving to you all. I'm sure you had a phenomenal weekend, and I hope you got to spend it with your family and friends and just enjoyed some time off, time to reflect, right? And to be thankful for what we have, for what we're about to create, for the position that we're in. And sometimes I think it's hard to do that when things change, right? And we got to understand that all things are cyclical, just like our business. Some of you may be in a position where things are not moving as abundantly as they once were. And this creates a bit of an uncertainty. It creates this nervousness, this almost sense of fear, right? That, you know, what's going to happen next? And I think that's always going to be part of our nature. To feel that uncertainty, because if we get too complacent, too comfortable, I think that's when the destruction process begins. That's when, you know, growth starts to deviate. It's when we sit in that comfort for too long. And just like seasons, you know, there's going to be some seasons that are more abundant than others, and it's the highs and the lows. And the key to this is when it's a high, to really extend, right? To really extend and find possibilities to magnify those results of the highs, and not to go so low when things do turn, is to have a threshold of what you're willing to tolerate before things change, or to have a nest egg that you can come to so that it doesn't get so bad, right? And you know, I've been in the highs and the lows, and I've been on extreme highs, and I've also been on extreme lows. And I'll tell you what, being in an extreme low puts me in a place of scarcity. It puts me in a place where I'm not able to really provide the best of me, because I am anxious, I am frustrated, I'm fearful. In this place of scarcity, I'm not the best father, I'm not the best husband. In this place, I'm not the best businessman. Everything's out of a reaction. It's because I'm seeing the situation for what it is right now, as opposed to the big picture, which is a cyclical game. Everything about life comes in cycles. And once I'm able to step back and realize that it can't stay like this forever. Things can't slow down forever. Things can't change forever. It's got to go in a different direction. And there's this false narrative that we buy into when things start really progressing. We think that we're the best businessman, that we have all the systems in line, that things will always be this way, only to be exploited when the market changes. And we're exposed at the same time, where things that used to work are no longer working. And during this time, it's what it really forces growth within you. It really forces you to develop the processes and the systems, so that when the things do turn, you have a bigger basket. And that's the example that I gave at our sales meeting last week. You know, a lot of us were running around with a basket, and it got filled up. It was overflowing. But we never considered that maybe we just didn't build a basket big enough, right? And what we were overflowing with was just a moment in time. It wasn't always going to be that way. And in fact, we discovered that maybe we didn't have enough to take us through the next few months. Some of you are in a position where you already have your back against the wall. You don't know how you're going to pay your bills next month, right? It's bringing in this frustration. And we realize that during this time is the only time that we will really put ourselves in a situation where we start building. And this is all a blessing for us. A market change, anytime we're exposed, that's all a blessing, signifying that change must occur. Change must occur. And the key to this is to realize, like, okay, when the cycle changes again, I can't come out with the same basket, meaning the same skill sets, the same mindset, because you'll get much the same result. You'll just benefit from a rising market. The key to this is to build something much bigger than just a larger basket. And I gave the example of a dam. What is it going to require for you to build a dam as opposed to just a basket? Where now you're able to generate your own economy per se, right? because a dam is meant to do that, is to be able to offset the dry months, is to be able to take advantage of the rainy season, the leads that are pouring down upon you, and then be able to control it when things are in a drought. That's what a dam is supposed to do. But instead, many of us are caught up on the ease of the rain, of the leads and the prospects and the closings, that all we're doing is just running around with a small basket. It's overfilling, so it's more than enough, until one day it isn't. So the purpose of this is to build that dam, which means you need an infrastructure of systems and processes, of personnel, of marketing strategies, of skill sets that you don't have right now. To build a dam requires you to be an engineer and to know certain things to be able to pull it off. And this is where you need to engineer now your business for the next phase, because it will rain again. It will rain and you will get the results you've always desired, but it's got to be beyond that. Not for the moment, but beyond that. And I spent many years doing just that, where I was able to build my own ecosystem so that when there is a drought, I'm not there in a scarcity mindset, where again, the best of me is not in that place. I am not a good father. I'll be the first to admit I'm not a good husband. I'm not a good businessman when I contract, when I am in a scarcity mindset. But I understand the seasons. And I also understand the lessons that I'm receiving. Right now, I am building a stronger infrastructure than ever before. And I'm building a bigger dam. Hoover Dam. I'm looking for something much bigger the next time it comes back around, because it will. It's done that multiple times throughout my 20-year career. Many times over. And our job is to magnify, right? Magnify the good seasons and to offset the slow ones. Not to go all the way down to a pit where there's a drought, where you can still water your seeds, where you can still be able to do the work. Not be there full of thirst and hunger. You will serve no one being in that place. But part of this strategy is to think big, to ask big. Not to just ask to get through the season. And that's something that I emphasized strongly last week. Don't just simply ask for your next bills, the bills that are on your table to be paid. Ask for abundance. Ask for prosperity. And I know there's a certain guilt that comes with saying, I'm in this for the money. I'm telling you, there should be no shame in that. There should be no shame in what makes you happy. Abundance is part of this. Ask for the glory. Ask for the power. Ask for the success. Ask to win with zero shame. And it seems like most of our lives, anything that has to do with that, shame is brought upon us. But you're a better person when you have those things. You can provide more and give more. You can inspire others when you have those things. You inspire no one when you struggle. You inspire no one when you struggle. So ask for the power, ask for the glory, ask for the success, the winning. Not just to take you through the season. And as opposed to looking at how things used to be, is what could things be in the future? How can you prepare for yourself for this upswing which is coming? There's a massive shift coming. But before we get there, we're going to have to realize we got to build. And you can't be in this place right now just wishing things used to be, or wishing things were like they were a few months ago or a couple years ago. I described it as seismic shift. A big shift in your future is coming. But you have to meet that blessing, it will not come get you if you're just sitting there, hopeless and helpless. You have to see this as a lesson. You have to see this as an opportunity so you can benefit and be available to see the opportunity of this seismic shift. And many people didn't get that. This last time around where it seemed like anything you did, it still produced results. Right now is not that time. But yet you see individuals that were able to magnify their businesses 10 times. Well, odds are they probably put 10 times the effort when it wasn't around. They built a dam during that time. And we got to look beyond this just being a hustle, but being a way of life. That it's cyclical and preparing this for the long term. Like, I'm not looking about where the market is dipping down to. I'm looking like there's another shift coming up of abundance. And I've been diligent on my game. Like, all my systems have improved. And they're only going to get better because I'm ready. I'm ready for the next shift. But we got to learn how to ask big and be honest. Don't shortchange yourself. Don't do it. And this conversation has been coming up multiple times. And in fact, I was on my way to the office and I read this chapter on conversations with God, and it was right there along with the conversation I had with Carla last week, where she said, you got to be honest about what you want. If you want money, be honest about that. Don't hold back. You'll know what to do once you get it. But don't lie to yourself. You want it. You need it. Ask for it. Don't hold back. And it's like, how would that feel, right? To just say that 10 times every day. Asking for what it is that you want. And that's a hard pill to swallow. It really is. Because we're conditioned not to say those things. Imagine if you woke up and you said, I love money. I love money. It's like, wait, but you can't say that, dude. I love money. And it's interesting. And it says here, all through your life, you have been made to feel guilty about the things you want most. Why is that? Why can't you say that? Because the more you say it, the more you put yourself in a position with what you want and desire. If you want it, say it. Ask big. But with ask, we talked about this. Ask, right? And you shall receive. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door shall be opened. And these are all action items, but the whole acronym there is ask. Ask. Ask, seek, knock. Ask. Ask big. That is the only way you will do big things. But if you ask small, you will do what's required just to get you through this moment. And it's bigger than just this moment. And I wrote a few things here, and I want to share with you. But we're not going to have shame about asking for success or working to better ourselves. And I put here, and I'm just going to read you portions of it because some of it is private, but I will try to make sense of it for you as much as I can. But this is something that I started doing again. And it started today because I said I was going to do. I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning because I found myself that I wasn't journaling enough. I wasn't asking for the things that I want. I wasn't in a place of just gratitude. I wasn't in a place of journaling. I wasn't in a place of prayer. I mean, I journal somewhat, but if I compare it to what I used to do, it's not even a fraction of what I used to do. I ask somewhat, but it's not a fraction of what I used to do because a part of me has also grown complacent. And complacency is the first step to destruction of what you built. We are meant to continue to create. We are meant to continue to push the envelope on our desires. I want more. I want more. Because those same desires have now created the lifestyle I live today. I wanted a better relationship with my daughters, and I asked for it every day. And by me asking, it put me in a position where I started doing. I wanted a bigger business, a more profitable business. I wanted more money. And because I desired those things, it put me in a position where I need to develop the skill sets to create those things. There is zero shame in that. Because the impact now is far and wide. I serve no one in scarcity. You serve no one in scarcity. I need to build everything on my plate. I love the pressure I created for myself. I can't complain about what I asked for. I am in the perfect position to grow beyond my own interpretations. I ask for abundance that comes with a certain level of responsibility and work. The challenges presented before me, the doubt, the discomfort is in correlation to what I asked for. It is a blessing to be in a position where I must now figure it out. I'm going to read that again for you. It is a blessing to be in a position where I must now figure it out. I want God to know that I have experienced your blessings. I have felt your favor. My life is evidence of your presence. You led me down this path. You guided my decisions. You influenced my life. I want to create extreme wealth and happiness. I want you to provide that for me. I'm asking you to continue to guide me to influence those that need the direction. And then I started putting some personal things down here. And then I said, I want to develop myself so that this occurs. I want you to give me the scenarios that will help me develop into what I want in those desires. And I'm going to keep some of this private just because sometimes these goals are so massive, right? It's almost like I need time to even process it myself. I need time to process it myself because I need to believe it. But I saw it in my mind because I wrote it down. I'm not just thinking big. I'm thinking like generational. I will continue to dream big. I will continue to speak about my experiences. I will ask big. I will not hold back. I ask of you, I want that without shame. I will do your deeds. I will continue to challenge myself. I want your blessings and guidance to achieve those things. I know you will challenge me. I know I will continue to progress. I feel that I can't hold back. I can't succumb to the doubt or the competition. Everyone has a journey. Everyone has a right to enjoy what I've experienced. I cannot focus on lack. Rather, I need to inspire for limits outside of my capacity. It's available for me to experience and enjoy. I will not deviate from what you have called me to do. I will commit And there were some things that I said I was going to do, but this is what's helped me create the lifestyle that I have, that I live. But I needed to take a moment to just know what I'm working towards. I don't know how to figure this stuff out. I really don't. I don't have a game plan. I don't have a roadmap to tell me, okay, make a left right down the street and then another right after that. I don't have that. I'm going based on what I've evidenced. I'm going based on the facts of my life. That if I can just think beyond what I can comprehend right now, somehow it will appear before me. But with that, there's going to be a lot of frustration. There's going to be some fear, some doubt. But it's not meant for me to stop. I have to process and analyze and implement. I have to ask. I have to take the action. And if you see something big for yourself, it's like start the day by doing that. So I started this morning, 4 o'clock, and I'm committing to doing that every day. We need to inspire ourselves. We cannot wait for someone to come outside of you to give you that inspiration. It's got to be within you. So you got to let your imagination just go. You need to let your heart just go. Those emotions, those thoughts, and those feelings. Don't limit them with shame. Shame is a limiting feeling. It limits you. And I'm saying we have an opportunity to build something bigger, but don't just focus on the now. So again, say that. Say that you want the power, the glory, the success. Say you want to win. Open your mind up to that. Just like me, you've evidenced that in your own life. And right now it's not a time to feel shame about that because the alternative is you serving no one. Guys, I want to thank you for joining me. Can I see the other screen, please? I want to thank you for joining me for this episode of Mindset Mastery. Thank you for being here today. And take some time just to put down what you really want and don't hold back. And then just focus on that. And yes, you'll be met with your fair share of challenges, with your fair share of hardships. Figure that out, and you'll be a step closer. Thank you. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye now. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Badass Agents Podcast, brought to you by AZ & Associates and Do the Work Coaching and Consulting. You can watch this and other episodes by subscribing to our channel on YouTube or by visiting us directly at badassagents.com. And of course, you can listen to this episode and many others on your preferred podcast provider.